Perhaps you could just tell us who you are, what your background is.
Well, my name's Emile deAntonio, and I'm a filmmaker. And we're here together with a crew making the same film that you're making, I'm sure from a different perspective, simply because people are different. You see it one way, and I see it another way. I think it's extraordinary that in this county, Montgomery County, founded in 1791 and so proud of its ancient history, that this is also the birthplace of General Haig. His brother is a Jesuit, by the way, which nobody around here knows, who was born here. I also find it appropriate that the Plowshare 8 chose King of Prussia and that GE plant for an action, because to me, the President of the United States today, Ronald Reagan, is the president from General Electric. When he was a broken down grade B actor, when he had exhausted those brilliant roles like Bonzo, when he was with Bonzo the chimpanzee, when he was no longer capable of playing even those roles, he was taken over by the General Electric Corporation and taught to talk and speak words of political wisdom. These words of political wisdom he spoke as he was shut a country from one GE plant to another. This is the truth, by the way. He learned politics by being thrown open right with workers at the plant gates. That's where he started. He was paid an enormous amount of money for this. He then went on to do the GE Theater of the Year. I forget what it was called. That program was on TV. He went up from that. I never watch that kind of stuff. I don't watch television, you know, so. But there it is. That's where he learned the give and take of dealing with people and audiences, and that's where he established his very great technical ability in dealing with the people who he's declared war on, working class people. He's better at that than any president we've had in my lifetime, except Franklin D. Roosevelt, who was a patrician after all, but working people believed him, I think, because they were starving in 1932 and 6. But in the case of Mr. Reagan, the other thing about the Berrigan, the Plowshare 8 action that I think is so remarkable from my point of view is that I'm a Marxist. I'm an atheist, and I've been deeply moved by what I've seen here and by them. I've known Dan Berrigan since he was in an old film of mine. But, and I filmed Dan once baptizing a baby just before he went underground up at Fordham. But this particular action is a very moving one. I think Anne Montgomery is one of the most impressive people I've ever met, and so is Molly. And I know in our own film that we're making about this, we've neglected to bring out that Phil Berrigan was an infantry officer who was decorated, who fought in World War II. I've been in a great many fights, and I've been arrested and beaten up, and I think it takes more courage to do what the Berrigans have done than some of the juvenile open hostility that you get in some of the demonstrations that I've been in the past, demonstrations. I don't disavow those past demonstrations. They were done for the right reasons. But there's a kind of nobility here and sweetness and generosity and gentleness that I have found rare in American political life. And I think this is what drives people crazy, frankly. I think it's the most effective way to make a statement because, I don't know what language you people use, but I mean, if you get out there and say, fuck you to the police, you're not really saying anything, you know. You're talking the language of the same cop who wants to pull out a club and hit you. But as I say, I'm not a Christian, but if I were an important member of the Catholic Church, in the hierarchy of that church, I would pay a lot of attention to this lesson here, because the dedication of all these people. And, there's a spirit here that I have not seen in the United States, even in the movement of the 60s. It's a very genuine thing. It's impressed the three of us, none of whom brought any belief to it, and we will leave probably without any belief. But nonetheless, if I were in charge of propaganda, with the Catholic hierarchy in the United States, I would think well and hard about the lessons that are being taught here in Montgomery County surrounding the actions of the Plowshare Eight.